The warm Hawaiian sun felt like a big hug as I left my vacation 3 days early, wanting to go back to my quiet life in Crestview Estates. But nothing could have gotten me ready for the crazy mess waiting at 1423 Pinehurst Lane. My name is Ethan Marshall, a 34-year-old computer guy who thought a 2-week island trip would help me feel better for quiet neighborhood life. Instead, I walked into a fight that would show a nasty mix of mean people being racist fraud and HOA bullying as my Uber pulled. Into my driveway at 3:47 in the afternoon, on a sneaky calm Tuesday, I pulled out 2 suitcases. One decorated with a flower necklace from a nice Hawaiian grandpa at the airport. My tan was fresh. My mind felt good until I saw her crouched next to. My house like a fake electrician was a blonde woman in her late 60s, dressed in a dark blue jacket and skirt that yelled bossy control freak. Her red high heels were silly for the job she was doing, cutting through my home's power wires with big, heavy wire cutters. "What the heck are you doing?" I yelled. My suitcase hit the ground with a loud thud. The woman later found out to be Margaret Langley, HOA president and neighborhood bully, turned around, her hairspray hard hair not moving. "You scared me," she said, grabbing her chest like a TV drama queen. "This house is supposed to be empty. Who are you?" "I'm Ethan Marshall, and this is my house," I said, angrily pointing at the house I'd owned for 3 years. "Why are you breaking my wires?" Margaret stood up, her 5'4" body showing power. "I'm Margaret Langley, Crestview Estates, HOA president. These ugly wires break Section 12, 3B of our rules requiring hidden power setups." I stared, confused. The wires were normal exactly, like every neighbor's running from the power line to my meter. "Those are my power lines. You can't cut them because they're not pretty." She pulled out a binder from nowhere. "The HOA rules you signed. I can turn off utilities for rule breaking. You'll get service back at your cost once you follow rules." The nerve was huge. This wasn't about looks. It was about control mixed with a mean, nasty feeling. Her nasty smile, the way she said, "You reminded me of prejudice I'd dealt with before, quiet at airports, loud at work meetings. But this was my front yard and it was war." "I called 911. Go ahead," Margaret teased, cutting another wire with style. "The cops will love hearing about your rule-breaking." Officer Ramirez showed up in 12 minutes. His tired eyes looking at the mess property damage. Margaret jumped. "Officer, I'm Margaret Langley, HOA president. I was checking rule following when this man got mean." My mouth dropped. I just got back from vacation and found her cutting my power. Ramirez saw the cut wires and her wire cutters. Margaret's acting was movie star good. "This house is marked for rule breaking and the owner was supposedly traveling. I thought someone broke in." She turned my early return into a criminal story. I showed Ramirez my license, house papers, and home photos. But Margaret kept going. "We've had problems with certain people claiming they live in our neighborhood. It's a growing problem." "Certain people?" Ramirez's eyebrow went up. "Mr. Marshall's proven he lives here. Cutting wires is breaking property." Margaret waved her binder. "Section 15(7) allows utility restrictions for rule breaking." I grabbed it, reading out loud. "This says restrictions, not vandalism with scissors." Ramirez sighed. "Ma'am, you can't cut live wires. That's against the law. Sir, call an electrician. This is a neighbor dispute." As he left, Margaret smiled. "We'll be seeing a lot of each other. Mr. Marshall fixed these rule problems quickly. My house now dark. I knew this was only the start." The electrician Mike Sullivan showed up at sunrise, his mouth dropping at the mess. "Who did this? A crazy raccoon HOA president with a god complex?" I mumbled. Mike's guess of $48 and $47 hit like a truck. "She didn't just cut the main lines, she messed up your light wires, security wiring, and damaged the box's weather protection. This is..." Sabotage insurance called it a confusing situation, delaying money for weeks at 10:15 in the morning. Margaret walked up in another dark blue suit, clipboard in hand, fixing the rule problems. "Mr. Marshall," Great Mike glared, "lady, you could have killed someone. This isn't rule following, it's crazy." Margaret's smile didn't change. "Normal HOA way." Mike laughed. "Normal way doesn't mean chopping live wires." She turned to me. "Send in a rule-following report within 72 hours, plus an $800 fine, $500 for paperwork. $300 for my 4 hours of rule following." I almost choked. "You're charging me for vandalism for fixing rule problems," she corrected. Mike stepped in. "You don't have power to create dangers." Margaret's calm look shook, but she came back. "Pay within 72 hours, or face more action." After she left, Mike shook his head. "She's crazy. I paid the $800 fine not to give up, but to trick her into thinking she won. Margaret thought she'd beaten me, but I was a computer guy trained to take apart systems that night. Dug into the HOA's website, a treasure of rules and meeting notes. I built a computer list of 3 years rule enforcement showing Margaret's reign of terror in 18 months. As president, tickets went up 23% with 29% targeting minorities, single parents. Our old people, white neighbors got nice reminders, others like Rosa Lopez's family got $150. Fines for a bike left out overnight. Her old Mr. Khan $200 for a bush problem. Margaret's work profile online showed her as a community relations manager for Elite Properties Company, a business thriving on perfect HOA reputations her picking. And choosing enforcement wasn't just personal, was work suicide waiting to happen. I contacted Mike and 3 other electricians, all shocked by her actions, ready to tell their story. I filed a complaint with the state's community management licensing board saying her vandalism was work misconduct. HOA meeting notes showed Margaret overruling board members Lisa and Gwynn and Robert Hayes, who'd warned against unfair enforcement. 6 months ago, Lisa had pointed out legal risks. Robert pushed for same rules for everyone. Margaret dismissed them, saying her presidential power. I had her paper trail her own words, proving unfairness. A week later, Margaret made it worse, ordering my Toyota Camry towed from my driveway for abandonment, saying it hadn't moved in 48 hours per Section 22. 4. The tow driver. Joe hesitated. I've never towed a car from a homeowner's driveway. Margaret waved time-stamped photos she'd taken stalker style. The HOA pays your company for rule enforcement. I recorded it all, tow it, I said calmly. Joe and Margaret blinked, expecting a fight will play her game. As my car disappeared, Margaret whispered, "Some people don't fit our standards, they often move away." I showed her my recording phone that sounded like housing discrimination, a federal crime. Her face went white and she ran high heels, clicking angrily. I called Lisa Gwynn, who told me years of Margaret's payback against the rule breakers. She's a dictator, Lisa said. Robert confirmed her actions, risk lawsuits she ignores. Warnings: a certified letter from Baxter and Sons Legal signed by Edward Baxter accused me of harassment and lies, demanding a public sorry within 10 days. A quick search showed Baxter's firm specialized in HOA, scaring not lawsuits. I called Edward, who stumbled when asked for details, relying only on Margaret's lies. Robert's response was gold. The HOA never said okay to legal action. If Margaret used HOA money, that's stealing. I contacted Detective Emily Torres, who handled HOA fraud. I'm reporting stealing and discrimination, I said, explaining Margaret's unauthorized legal fees and unfair enforcement. Torres scheduled a meeting, and I organized a 47-page folder. Bank records, recordings, electrician stories, and math proof of discrimination. I sent a report to Elite Property CEO, HR, Legal, and Client Relations, showing Margaret's liability within hours. HR's Diane Carter called, "We're investigating, we have zero tolerance for this." Robert texted Margaret was on leave. Angry, blaming me, I reached out to victims like Rosa Lopez, Mr. Khan, and single mom Sarah Patel. Building a team, I launched Crestview Facts, come explaining Margaret's bullying. It went viral, with neighbors like widow Mrs. Evans sharing stories of harassment. An admin at Baxter's firm, Claire Thompson, revealed Margaret paid legal fees personally, then faked HOA expense reports, textbook fraud. At 3 in the morning, Thursday, sirens woke me. Fire trucks, police, and an ambulance swarmed my house. Fire Chief Lopez said, "We got a 911 call about a gas leak. Tests showed nothing across the street." Margaret lurked in a tracksuit. Lopez gave her a ticket for false reporting by 6:30 in the morning. My car was egged syruped and my door smeared with dog poop. A note in Margaret's handwriting reading, "Respect community standards." Torres added vandalism to her charges. The HOA meeting that night was electric. The packed community center buzzed as I presented my folder updated with Margaret's latest crimes. She arrived late, messy, and launched into a crazy defense accusing me of harassment. I played her recorded threat about moving unfit residents. The room gasped. Lisa moved for a no-confidence vote, seconded by Robert, passing 5-0. Rosa Lopez stood. "You've driven out anyone who doesn't fit your racist vision. It's time you leave." Clapping erupted. 3 weeks later, Margaret's empire collapsed. Elite Properties fired her. Her license was taken away, and she said guilty to vandalism and false reporting, earning 2 years probation. A civil suit forced her to pay my $4,847 repairs from her stuff. She and her husband ran from their home sold to a vibrant Nigerian family. The HOA, led by Lisa banned unfair enforcement. Crest View bloomed with diversity. My website inspired a Sundance documentary. As I watched new neighbors move in unharassed, I smiled. Margaret's hate forged a better community, and her red high heels now gathered dust in a prison closet. Justice served with data tasted sweeter than any Hawaiian breeze.